Hey guys, in today's video we will learn about how to calculate the cost of goods manufactured. In the previous videos we have seen how do we find the cost of goods sold and how do we present it on the income statements. Today we will do so for the same thing, but instead of goods sold, we'll do for the cost of goods manufactured. Excellent. Remember, manufactured is, what was the example again? The manufactured was, recall again, this fancy highlighter. How do we manufacture it? We had the work in progress. We bought some stuff, made it into the ending, and then we sold. And then after, the difference was the cost of goods sold. So first of all, let's recall sort of what we learned before. Costs. So the beginning work in progress. So what you have. Let's put some visuals. Beginning work in progress plus the total manufacturing cost. You bought this. This is the manufacturing costs. Let's say manufacturing cost includes labor as well. Labor, the overhead costs, whether it be materials that were used. All of this so the beginning work in progress plus the total manufacturing cost will result into the total cost of the work in progress, subtracted by the ending work in progress inventory, which will give you the cost of goods manufactured. In other words, what you have at first, plus all of the costs that you incurred in the work in progress, in order to get to the final good, subtract all the processes minus the final good, which will give you the cost of goods manufactured. Excellent. Now, how will we present this on the statement? So we call this the cost of good manufactured as schedule. So recall, in our last video, we discussed that how the cost of goods manufactured has how many inventory accounts? 1, 2, or 3? 3? You guessed right. There are 3. What are they? So what we said, there's always a direct material. There's the direct labor, and as well as the material in the manufacturing overhead. The 3 include the raw materials in the work in the work in progress, as well as the finished goods inventory. I'm sorry about that. You see, anyone makes mistakes. How do we do this? How do we present a cost of good manufactured schedule? It is done so in the following way. The work in progress in the first of the month, January 1st. Beginning work in progress, this is the same thing. So let me put 1, and I'm going to put 1 over here. Beginning work in progress on the 1st. So we incurred what? A direct material. We had raw material on January 1st, plus the raw material that we purchased, in order to get the total raw material available for use. So which is simply the addition of these two, subtracted by the raw materials at the end, in this case at the end of the year, so which will give you the direct material that we used. So let's go back. What are we doing? We're trying to find the total manufacturing costs for their direct material, for the direct labor, as well for the manufacturing overhead, as well as taking into consideration the beginning work in progress. So we have the beginning work in progress. Over here we're calculating the direct materials at the beginning. How much do we use? The direct labor, as well as the manufacturing overhead. Further, the manufacturing overhead, as we had learned in one of the beginning videos, what is a manufacturing overhead? It's everything that you're not 100% sure about if this really is contributing towards the final product, which includes indirect labor. But let's say factory repair or factory depreciation, the total manufacturing costs, the total manufacturing overhead costs. So the addition, my mistake. Over here should be written the total manufacturing overhead cost used, then the total manufacturing cost, which is equivalent to what? Direct material plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. And what was the total cost of the work in progress? The total cost of the work in progress was what we used here, less the work in progress at the ending inventory. So let's add more numbers in here. So this is what we use 1. Let's call this 3. Let's call this 2. So this, we're going to call this 2, and this is 3, which will give us the cost of goods manufactured. So this may seem like a lot, so let me just repeat this. And in order to solidify this concepts, we will do a bunch of examples in order to make sure it's instilled inside your brain. So what was the point of all this? We had to find the cost of goods manufactured. How do we find this? The beginning work in progress plus the total manufacturing cost that you had to incur in order to give you the total cost of the work in progress. Subtract this by the ending inventory process, which will give you cost of manufactured. The beginning work in progress was 1. The total manufacturing cost consists of 3 things: the direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. Excellent. Then, how about now we just addition all these up, the total manufacturing cost, the total work in progress, less the work in progress at the end, which was 3. You addition these up, subtract it by this, which will give you the cost of goods manufactured. Not to fret, with a few more examples coming up, we will make sure this is much more clear for you. Stay tuned for the next video.